What's up, YouTube? It's David. As you can see, I have a custom bumper with a winch now. This is a low profile winch bumper that I built that maintains an absolutely amazing approach angle. So, I'm going to show you how I built it. Let's go. The welds aren't the prettiest, and I ran out of welding wire, so I got to go to Harbor Freight to get more wire. You can see the general frame, the construction of how I'm going to have it now. I'm going to pick up the mount, the universal winch mount right now for the winch. We'll grab that, and then we will build from there. So this is, well, was a Harbor Freight universal winch mount. Trying to get this to fit under there. Bruh, ain't no way.
It comes with one. It came with the bracket that you needed.
Yeah.
So you wasted all this time.
That's so depressing. Check this out though. It comes with this that I can put inside the car. In and out.
That's cool. And an external remote too for outside?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know about this guy. Oh, that's sick. Big old breaker. Yeah, look.
Oh my god.
This is what you have to have with the steel cable. And that sticks out a lot.
I see.
And here's the handheld controller.
You can't use that Badland thing with the steel cable?
What? That?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think you're supposed to. I don't know. You have to look it up.
You certainly don't. That would not look as cool as
Because I
Badland.
would kind of like to save the $170 that rope costed. If I can just use this thing.
I think it might be too late to return it.
No? I got the receipt.
No, that's steel plate you built.
Alright, so ended up having to basically redo everything. Cut that winch plate to pieces. Absolutely destroyed my cross member piece right here. So I welded in one that was probably 5 times as thick. And the 5,000-pound winch came with a plate that was way smaller. I was able to get it all the way stuck back in there. It sticks out less than the bumper. I just gotta weld that piece solid, and then I can finish adding tubes on the bumper, and I'm gonna add gussets underneath. Probably bring some tubes down somewhere to meet up with this piece as well. Get it all strengthened up everywhere. So I'm very impatient when it comes to building stuff, and I never scrape or grind the paint off before I weld. And in result, I get stuff that looks like that. Whereas if I actually take the time to prep stuff correctly, you can see I ground all the paint and everything off right there. Same thing on this side, where I actually prepped it properly and I scraped all or ground all the paint off before I welded. I'm able to get an actually halfway decent looking weld. So I obviously need to start actually prepping surfaces first before I paint or weld them, because my whole bumper would probably look 10 times nicer if I had done that. Alright, so I just finished getting the bumper all welded up and built. I ground the corners down where there was some big ugly welds. Now all I gotta do is I'm gonna brush on some rusty metal primer, brush that on all the stuff I just welded, and then I'm gonna paint this white. Like the old Broncos, they had kind of this teal color with like white rooftops and stuff, and the color combo looked really good. I've seen a few pictures of some blue vehicles with I saw a blue Toyota pickup rock crawler with a tube bumper like mine, and it was painted white, and it looked really good. So I'm gonna give it a try and paint all these tubes white. I had them black at one point, and you just couldn't see them at all. It just looked like there was nothing there. It blended in too much. So I'm gonna try and paint them white, so that way you can see kind of the exo bumper, all the tubes, because I think it looks awesome. So I'm gonna scuff it up, get it cleaned up, and then brush on some paint. Alright, so I'm gonna give it a coat of this stuff, let it dry for probably 10 minutes or so, and then I'll shoot it with some white, see how it turns out. Alright, I've gotten the primer on there. I'll give that about 10 minutes, and then I'll hit it with some white. Alright, now I'll hit it with a can of some white 2K primer. Alright, I've got a little bit of white on there. I'm going to let that actually dry quite a bit because I'm getting some cracks. I don't think I let the primer dry enough. Let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll come out and hit those spots that are still a little wet again. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with one more coat of white, and then I'm going to hit it with some clear. So, the reason I built this the way I did is all the aftermarket bumpers that you can buy for these Samurais. I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong with them or that they're junk, but they're made for your average person who has a tool set maybe a few specialty tools. They don't really have welders, grinders, all that stuff like that. So they're made to just bolt onto the front with minimal modification. They make it as easy as possible to get a winch on the front of your Samurai. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great for people who don't have the tools. The problem with those big bumpers is because they can't do custom modification or fabrication or anything, they're bolt-on, so they stick out, so that way they can fit a winch. And so the bumper will stick out probably 8, 9, 10 inches in front of the vehicle for that winch. And the problem with those is your approach angle. If you're doing mud or like dirt, sand, stuff like that, or you're camping with your Samurai, it's not really a big deal. But if you're doing hardcore rock crawling and you need that approach angle, so that way you can get your tires up on that big rock. You want your tires to start crawling. The problem with those big winch bumpers is they stick out so far that when you try to pull up to one of those big ledges you want to go up, that bumper just smacks into that ledge. Your tires are still this far away from that ledge. So I built this way, so that way it's as far back as it can be. So when I pull up to those big rock ledges, I can pull up to them without having to go at an angle, just straight on. And my tires hit before my bumper. That's the approach angle. So I built this to have the best approach angle I could possibly have. And if you look from the side over here, I don't even really have big tires yet. I'm still going to go with 31s. But as you can see, the front of that tire and the front of my bumper, there's only probably 3 inches or so from the front of that tire how far out that bumper sticks. And when I go with 31s and I do either rears up front or YJ springs, that front tire is going to get pushed forward a whole 1.5 inches. So the front of this tire here is going to, with tires and springs and everything, it's going to come forward probably about 4 whole inches. And if you look from where it's at now, let me show you. So this is the farthest out point, and it's right about here. Now, if this tire right here comes, if I get 31s rather than 28s, that's 1.5 inches on this side and the back side of the tire difference. So that'll put the tire from here to about here. And then when I go another 1.5 inches with rears up front or YJs, length, wheelbase wise, that'll push it forward to about here. So my front of my tire will be right here, which is farther out than the front of my bumper tube here. So the front of my tire would be perfectly even with this right here. So I could go up to basically a straight up and down wall. If I had 33s or I stretched it another 1/2 inch, I could go up to a straight up and down wall, just right up to it, and just start climbing right up the front. I wouldn't scrape anything. That's what's cool about this style of bumper. That's why I built it like this. Look at it. In my opinion, I think this just looks absolutely awesome. I love the way it turned out. If you look closely at it, my welds aren't the greatest, and my tube work and notches and bends and stuff aren't the greatest either. This is the first thing I have ever built on a car, fabrication wise. I built some exhaust systems, but those are pretty dang easy to do. This is the first actual fabrication I've done on anything before. So I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I really need to start grinding the surfaces that I weld before I weld them, because it made a lot of this look a lot worse than it should. There are some spots I prepped and the welds look pretty dang good. It doesn't look like an idiot built it, but spots like this, it looks pretty bad. But all in all, I think it looks amazing. I love the way it looks. I'm going to get some synthetic rope and a Haas fair lead, because that will make my approach angle back even farther back, even better. And as you saw in the off-roading video, my last video, my transfer case is held on by ratchet straps. So I finally went ahead and ordered a cradle for the transfer case. Once that gets here, I'm going to put that in, and I'll show you which one I got and why I got it. I found pretty much the beefiest one you could find, and that's the one I got. And I'm also going to go with 4.9-to-1 gears and 31s. That way I can cruise on the highway with my stock 1.3 or even maybe a 1.68 valve, I might go to that. I can cruise 65, 70 miles an hour at a pretty good RPMs because I like driving this thing. I drive it every day. When I drive it to Utah, Colorado, I'm probably going to drive it around 3,000 to 4,000 miles on the highway. So for now, I'm going to do 4.9s and 31s. Maybe in the future, when I go to 35s with those Dana 44s I have over there, I'll go 6.5s. But there's going to be a lot more stuff for this thing coming, so like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.